শ্রী গুরু চরণে রতি, এই সে উত্তম গতি। যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা, যে প্রসাদে পুরে সর্ব আশা, চক্ষুদান দিল যেই, জন্মে জন্মে প্রভু সেই। দিব্য জ্ঞান হৃদে প্রকাশিত, প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্যা বিনাশ যাতে। প্রেম ভক্তি যাহা হইতে অবিদ্যা বিনাশ যাতে। প্রেম ভক্তি বেদে গায় যাহার চরিত, বেদে গায় শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু, অধম জনার বন্ধু। শ্রী গুরু করুণা সিন্ধু, অধম জনার বন্ধু। লোকনাথ লোকের জীবন, লোকনাথ লোকের। আহা প্রভু কর দয়া, দেহ মরে পদ ছায়া। প্রভু প্রভুপাত কর দয়া, দেহ মরে পদ ছায়া। প্রভুপাত কর দয়া, এবে যশ ভূষুক ত্রিভুবন, এবে যশ ভূষুক। শ্রীলা প্রভুপাত পতিত পাবন, প্রভুপাত জয় প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ, প্রভুপাদ। জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ, 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 প্রভুপাদ। জয় জগৎগুরু শ্রী প্রভুপাদ কি, শ্রীল প্রভুপাদ গুরু পূজা কি। নমায় বিষ্ণু পদায় কৃষ্ণ পৃষ্ঠায় ভূতলে, শ্রীমতে ভক্তি বেদান্ত স্বামী নীতি নামিনে নমঃ। বিষ্ণু পদায় কৃষ্ণ পৃষ্ঠায় মতে ভক্তি নমস্তে সরস্বতে দেবে গৌরবাণী প্রচারিণে, নির্বিশেষ শূন্যবাদী পাশ্চাত্য দেশতারিণে। নমস্তে Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Radha Govindo Radha Govindo Radhe Radhe Radha Govindo Radha Govindo Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhu নিতাই গৌরা হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল, নিতাই। নিতাই গৌর প্রেমানন্দে। জয় ধনী।
Hare Krishna. Gauranga.
Sham. Sham. Venum kananto marubindo dalayataham avatang samasiham kandar pakoti kamaniya bhajami bhajami Angyani jasya shakalendriyo imanti dipanti kalayanti ira. जय श्री गौरनिताय भगवान की, सुदालिताय गौरचंद्र भगवान की। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे। তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালু জগত সংসারে। শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া করো মোরে। শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালু জগত সংসারে। তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালু পতিত পাবন হেতু তব অবতার পতিত মো সমপতিত প্রভু না পাইবে আর। হা হা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ প্রেমানন্দ সুখী। হা হা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ সুখী। কৃপা বল কোন কর আমি বড় দুঃখী। কৃপা লোকন করো আমি বড়। দয়া করো সীতাপতি অদ্বৈত গোসাই। দয়া করো তব কৃপা বলে পাই চৈতন্য নিতাই। তব কৃপা বলে পাই তব কৃপা বলে পাই চৈতন্য নিতাই। তব কৃপা হা হা স্বরূপ সনাতন রূপ রঘুনাথ। হা স্বরূপ সনাতন রূপ রঘু ভট্ট যুগ শ্রীজীব প্রভু লোকনাথ। ভট্ট যুগ শ্রীজীব দয়া করো শ্রী আচার্য প্রভু শ্রীনিবাস। দয়া করো আচার্য প্রভু শ্রীনিবাস। রামচন্দ্র সঙ্গ মাগে নরোত্তম দাস। রামচন্দ্র সঙ্গ মাগে নরোত্তম দাস। রামচন্দ্র Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Toma bina ke dayalu jagat samsare Toma bina ke dayalu আর তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালু জগত সংসারে তোমা বিনা Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo Ram Ramo Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ramo Ramo Jaya Daya Jaya Gauranisai 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 Jaya Gauranisai Gauranisai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Hari Bol Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhav Kunja Vihar Jai Radha Jaya Radha Madhav Kunja Vihar Gopi Jana Bala Giri Badadha
Jaya Gopi Jaya Giri Bharadam Jaya Gopi Jaya Giri Bharadam Yashoda Nandana Pradana Yashoda Nandana Pradana Yashoda Nandana Pradana Yamuna Tira Banacha Yamuna Tira Banacha Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Gopi Jana Balaba Giri Bharadam Gopi Jana Balaba Giri Bharadam Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banacha Yamuna Tira Banacha Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Srimad Bhagavatam ki Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, we offer our respects to Srila Vyasa, to Narayan, the personality of Godhead, to Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, and to Nut Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyutama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes of Srimad Bhagavatam and rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is inauspicious to the heart becomes destroyed almost to nil, and thus loving service to the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental song, comes into being in irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Purana Brahma Samitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakata Bhagavan Rishi Nishayasaya Lokasya Danyam Swastaya Namaha. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation of God. It is written by the incarnation of God, Srila Vasudev, and is all good and all auspicious and all successful for everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Very beautiful temple. These nice effulgent pictures. There's lights behind or something?
No.
Sunlight. Wow, that's great. What are they printed on clear? Anyway, it's really good. Very good. And you have Gaur Lila and Jagannath and Krishna Lila. So very nice. This is, Prabhupada started something very small, all by himself with no money, just an old man. In America, nobody knew even what a sannyasi was or anything. You know, he was just an old man from India. And somehow he started this movement, very quickly made a registration of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And now there's temples opening up in India like every month or something, at least. We can't keep up. I was at one meeting for the Western, I think, and Gauranga Prabhu said, please, tell us what you're doing. We can't keep up with all the expansion, to keep, central records everywhere. So many preaching centers, so many satellites, so many this, that. So we have a big job to do because the whole world still, even India, even amongst Indian people, so many, they don't know Krishna at all. But it's becoming more and more known. So we'll keep working on it. And by having this Bhagavatam class every day, it's all auspicious and purifies the whole world and makes us strong also. So this is, are you broadcasting?
Yes, Maharaj.
What channel?
ISKCON DUMDUM.
On,
ISKCON DUMDUM.
on Facebook or
YouTube.
YouTube? Dum-dum, you spell it D-A-M?
D-U-M.
D-U-M. Somebody was written with an A. I'm surprised. YouTube. All these miraculous things. This is what Krishna has given us to help us expand even more. A certain number of people can come to the temple, but online we can get, sometimes thousands, sometimes many more than that. It's growing. Okay, text number 27, chapter 8, second canto. And this chapter is questions by King Parikshit, teaching us proper questions. Otherwise, we ask about ordinary things. Sutu vacha sa upamantrato Raja Kathayam Iti Satpate Pramarato Vrisham Rito Vishnu Ratena Samsadi Sutuvacha Sa Upamantrito Ragya Katayam Iti Satpate Brahmarato Vishamprito Vishnu Ratena Samsadi. Okay. Sutuvacha Sa Upamantrito Ragya Tamiti Satpate Brahmarato Vishamprito Vishnu Ratena Samsadi. Sutuvacha Sa Upamantrito Ragya
Brahmarato Vrishamprito Vishnu Ratena Samsadi. Suta Uvacha Savamantrito Rajya Katayam Satpate Brahmarato Vrishamprito Vishnu Ratena Samsadi.
Anyone else? Ladies? Okay. More the better. Prabhupada liked very much to hear everybody chanting and smoking. Yeah. When I was in classes, everybody would chant because Prabhupada liked it so much. Sutuvacha. Srila Sutta Goswami said, Sa, he, Sukadev, Upamantrita, thus being inquired, Ragya, by the king, Katayam, in the topics, Iti, thus, Satpate, of the highest truth, Brahmarata, Sukadev Goswami, Vrisham, very much, Rita, pleased, Vishnu Ratena, in Maharaj Pricket, Samsadi, in the meeting. Translation. Thus Sukadev Goswami, being invited by Maharaj Pricket to speak on topics of the Lord Krishna with the devotees, was very much pleased. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam can be legitimately discussed only among the devotees of the Lord, as the Bhagavad Gita was authoritatively discussed between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord and the devotee respectively. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a postgraduate study of the Bhagavad Gita, can also be discussed between the scholars and devotees like Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Pricket. Otherwise, the real taste of the nectar cannot be relished. Sukadev Goswami was pleased with Maharaj Pricket because he was not at all tired of hearing the topics of the Lord and was more and more anxious to hear them on and on with interest. Foolish interpreters unnecessarily tackle the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam when they have no access to the subject matter. There is no use in non-devotees meddling with the two topmost Vedic literatures. Therefore, Sankaracharya did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam for commentation. In this commentation on the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Sankaracharya accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but later on he commented from the impersonalist view. But being conscious of his position, he did not comment on Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami was protected by Lord Krishna by a Brahma Vivarta Purana, and because he is known as Brahma Rata, and Srimad Parikshit Maharaj was protected by Vishnu, and thus he is known as Vishnu Rata. As devotees of the Lord, they are always protected by the Lord, because it is clear also in this connection that a Vishnu Rata should hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a Brahma Rata and no one else, because others misrepresent the transcendental knowledge and thus spoil one's valuable life. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurumili Tanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarane Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyebhacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah Panchatatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. Jai. So, Parikshit, you've read, he has so many questions. Sometimes as we read later in the Bhagavatam, so many things we might think, well, why is this there? And it doesn't seem exactly spiritual sometimes. But it is, because it's teaching us the difference. Krishna tells us, what are the qualities of a devotee, what are the qualities of a demon, right? And Bhagavatam shows us personal examples of the greatest devotees and the greatest demons. For us, we find that reading about the demons to be especially interesting, right? Hiranyakasipu, Ravana. Because it's a world full of such people. No one comes anywhere near the power of these demons in the Bhagavatam, even the insignificant ones. But they have the same mentality, Dambo, Darpa, Vidamina. They're envious, they speak nasty, they're puffed up, they want control, they think, Krishna describes, Ishvara Aham Bhogi, I am happy, I'm the controller. There's no one so great as I am. And there's so many like that, and they fight amongst themselves. And they can become very rich and very powerful, but in very limited sphere. And there's many, many great devotees now in the world by Prabhupada's grace. Prabhupada has created devotees out of all kinds of people because he could very easily remove the covering of the modes of nature. So we have thousands of very great devotees all over the world, from all different so-called races, so-called societies, so-called religions, and they're all just becoming pure Vaishnavas and studying Srimad Bhagavatam and trying to broadcast this message widely. So the Bhagavatam is for devotees, but we're trying to distribute to everybody because we know devotees, everyone is a devotee actually, and they're covered over. And if they can contact Srila Prabhupada, and then in the Bhagavatam we contact Narada Muni and Vyasadeva, King Pariksit, the Pandavas, Shiva, Lord Shiva, everybody. We get intimate association with so many great personalities. So people can change. And we're seeing that happen. So many people have given up intoxication and gambling, meat eating, things that some were very much addicted to. Now I see the news that in India it's become a fashion. They call it bhajan clubbing. It's a nightclub where they sing bhajans and they dance around, they're imitating the ISKCON. And they're singing bhajans. They may be Bollywood or whatever, I don't know, but they're singing bhajans. And our temples are filled up every day with people singing and chanting Hare Krishna. So that's a big change. People were becoming more and more inclined toward intoxication and rock and roll. So this is the influence of the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita that's being distributed and taught also. Devotees are teaching. I see some devotees, they have so many thousands of people online for their Bhagavad Gita classes in the Indian languages, especially. One devotee I read, he does it in like 10 different languages. I don't know how he organizes that, but I was just in Dubai and there's a lot of South Indian there. They have one festival for Margashirsha month, which on their calendar just ended yesterday. And many devotees are gathering in different houses every day for Mangalarti. Mangalarti, and then some poem about Margashirsha, and then Srimad Bhagavatam class. And then 4:30, 5 o'clock Mangalarti. And always like 30, 40 devotees, different house every day. And they have a Bhagavatam class in 7 different languages by the Zoom. So we don't know how many are on the Zoom. I don't know how many, but because Zoom, they can have different rooms. So they have a room for the many different languages. It's been going on for 30 years and just growing all over the world like that. So Bhagavatam can really only be discussed. There are scholars who read it, they memorize, they know something. Like I met one, he was very nice actually, he was a professor of philosophy in Cambridge University or Oxford, one of those. And he was running, but he finally stopped and we started talking. It was interesting, he said he knew this one famous atheist because they were in the same university. His name was Richard Dawkins. And he said he talks about God more than anybody. Then I just heard a class from Bhakti Swami who was saying the atheists, they say God more than anybody. So there must be God, otherwise how could they say there's not God? They always talk about God, but that there's really no God, or that religion is the cause of all trouble in the world. And they talk about it more than anybody, but they don't know anything. So this professor, he was very friendly and nice, But when I started talking about philosophy, oh yeah, the Vaishnavas say like this, and the Christians say that. He knew everybody's philosophy, but he didn't believe in anything. It was just his job. And he was, happy to know all this. But without bhakti, they don't feel anything for it, So there's many, they can recite Bhagavad Gita. They can find, but there's so many bogus commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, we don't want to discuss. They all say the same thing, though, all the Mayavadis. It's not really Krishna speaking. It's some unknown spirit somewhere. And that could be anybody. So devotees like Sukadev Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit, they can discuss. And all the sages at Naimishranya, they can discuss. Because they're all devotees. They all know that this is coming down, this is something different. It's not a creation of the material world. So Pariksit asked so many questions about everything. I think the first one was like how the soul comes into the body. But he asked about the structure of the universe and the demigods and the hierarchy, all these things. That's why it's all in the Bhagavatam. He's answering all these, the rest of the Bhagavatam is answering all these questions. Even answering the first 6 questions of the sages. I heard once they say that the whole Bhagavatam is in the first verse, Janmadvasya Yataha. And the rest of the Bhagavatam is just to explain that one verse. Then we have commentaries. So the Bhagavatam, here, what we get, what Vyasadeva gave us is 16,000 verses. Higher planets, they have 100,000 or more. And we don't know much more was spoken. The Goswamis made so many commentaries. And then the Acharyas ever since in our line have made commentaries. And then Srila Prabhupada has made the commentary, which miraculously, some of the commentaries of the Goswamis were not meant for publication. In fact, at the Samadhi of Sanatana Goswami, there's a Granth Samadhi. Many of the Goswami literatures were not, they're so elevated, they're not meant to be read by anybody. So they sealed them up in this tomb. Others were meant to be published, and they're very important. Rupa Goswami's, especially Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the Nectar Devotion, Sanatana Goswami's, Hari Bhakti Vilas and Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and all the acharyas. Prabhupada had the book, and he studied the commentaries of something like 8 acharyas, and then he made it relevant to modern world, and it's completely relevant. We were reading yesterday, Sunday I was reading, someone asked about book distribution, so I was reading that verse, Yasyag Vitar Godhanatava Vikava Yasmin Pati Slokam Yadavat Pravat Vida, that this literature, which is glorifying the Lord, is transcendental. And then Prabhupada was saying, and this was written, I don't know when, 1963 maybe, 62 even, because it was the first volume in just chapter 5 and first canto. And, he got that published long before he went to America. So rewritten in early 1960s. But it's completely relevant now, even more, because he was saying how there's systematic propaganda against Krishna. And that's now, it's really, because now they have all this technology, And AI, they can make atheistic movies and sense gratification movies, and all you have to do is type in, I want a movie, blah, 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 and it'll make a movie for you. Look like complete, perfect movie. And they make them over and over again. So many people, some are directly atheistic, saying there's no God, and others are just, basically they're just glorifying sense gratification and making it seem like this is the goal of life. And if you just get rich, and they're promising all these get rich quick, promising that you can be like Kardamamuni, you can manifest things, you can manifest whatever house and car and whatever you want, I will teach you. Kardamamuni could do that. He made that celestial airplane after thousands of years of tapasya and meditating on Vishnu, on the Lord within the heart. You can't just overnight, just by wanting something, manifest it, but people believe it because they're not getting it by other means. Whatever we get is going to come about by our karma. Of course, if we're trying to completely serve Krishna, we might get things that are beyond our karma. We might get trouble that's not in our karma also. Krishna wants to push us more to totally surrender to him. So we can discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, and we do. Prabhupada wanted us to. That's why he made this program in every temple, Srimad Bhagavatam class every day. And miraculously, it's going on all over the world. You can go to any temple and find the same program. So Parikshit said, please tell me more, I never get tired of hearing. And Arjuna said the same thing. I never get tired of hearing. That would be nice. Materialists never get tired of hearing, about whatever business they're in, or sports scores, or, the news, hearing the glories of sense gratification. Devotees want to hear more and more. Hopefully, we can get a taste where we just want to hear more and more. We're feeling separation if we're not hearing Krishna katha, feeling miserable. Yugayitam nameshena chakshusha pravishainam. Lord Chaitanya said it's like a yuga, feeling separation. It seems so long since I've chanted or since I've served Krishna, seen Krishna. Prabhupada just translated it 12 years. For us, that sounds like a really long time, but a yuga is thousands of years. So foolish interpreters, so-called academic scholars, they may try to understand the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't know how much they try the Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahabharata is more Ramayana. Now a lot of devotees are becoming expert to very popular teaching about Ramayana. One Shubha, what's his name? Shubha Vilas. He's got 2 PhDs in Ramayana. So he wrote many books because he said there's so many people that are giving all bogus understanding of the Ramayana. So he preaches, about Krishna conscious understanding of the Ramayana. I saw recently online, there's a few people that are really trying to straighten out the understanding of the Mahabharata also, because there's so much crazy stuff about the Mahabharata. So much crazy stuff, that Karna was, Draupadi really loved Karna and wanted to marry him. And, Draupadi was born, and not even born, she just came out of the Yajna specifically for marrying Arjuna. And she was completely happy with that. But, they just make up stuff because they want to say something different. you know. So Sankaracharya, he accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but then he made his commentaries on the Brahma Sutras because he was told by Krishna to do it, to confuse people, to, you know, spread Mayavadi teachings, because that was necessary to help the Kali Yuga advance. And when you take the person out of God, you take the religion with no person, it becomes very dry, no pleasure. Just some kind of intellectual games people can play. So people want pleasure, so then they'll turn more to gross sense gratification because they don't have the personal relationship with Krishna, which is the Srimad Bhagavatam is all about, bhakti. Bhakti means cooperating with Krishna, means being connected to Krishna, having a relationship. We're chanting the holy name, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare. And it's spreading all over the world more and more. And just like in the Middle East, they call their temples, you know, Damodar Desh and Shamdesh and Avatar Desh and all these. But they just had a Kirtan Rasa, they called it, 5,000 devotees chanting Hare Krishna for 3 days. They imported 50 of the, you know, most popular Kirtan people. And this is going on all over the world. Maybe not that many in one place, but, you know, in Japan, if we get 30 or 40, that's a big, huge event, you know. Sometimes we can get 50. But it spreads because people start to know about it. The more they see devotees, the more they hear the holy name, has effect. I was just in West Africa. So same thing. Very few people will join. They're struggling for existence, for one thing. Temples are also struggling for existence. But when we do public chanting, a lot of people go by like, yeah. They've seen us enough. They like it. That's a good start, you know. Or they want a book, you know. So this way we gradually come. One devotee there in Africa, he started out preaching on a radio, small local radio stations, but in the local language of Ghana. It's called Twi. And somehow these stations, they get bounced to Europe and America because there's so many people from those countries and they like to hear their own language, you know. So he became super popular. You know, he preaches, it's what you might call bridge preaching, but he recently had a class, was titled Mysticism. So he was talking about mantras and tantras, and Mahamantra, over 600 of his students ordered japamala and bead bags. So he went to Mayapur and bought like hundreds of tulsi mala, and he's sending them out with the Bhagavad Gita to everyone, and they pay a high price. You know, because they're in Europe, they're in Middle East, they're in America, they're all over the place. So, you know, it's cheaper than going to India. But they want to chant because he tells them how good it is. He gets many people doing, I think, just fruit for Kartik or something and chanting mantras. So it's happening different ways all over the world. And all we have to do is just keep trying. Everybody has different capacity. We can't, you know, maybe speak like Sukadev to thousands of people and they can all hear us without microphones. But Sukadev was protected by Krishna, so he's called Brahma, Vaivarta, in the Brahma Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana. And Parikshit was protected by Vishnu. We know that in the womb. Ashwatthama tried to kill the embryo of all things with the Brahmastra weapon, which can destroy the whole planet, but he could focus it. But Krishna protected it, it didn't work. He blocked it. So they're always protected by the Lord. And then Parikshit is always looking for Krishna because he saw him there when he was in the womb. So we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a Brahmarata. So that's, Sukadev or Parikshit came, what should I do? It's a time of death, and what is the duty? And then he was told different things, but he understood to hear the glories of the Lord, to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. So he heard the Bhagavatam from Sukadev, who's not an ordinary person, he's special just for that purpose. He learned it from his father when he was in the womb, because Vyasadeva was composing it. Then it's different stories. He learned it. He studied Bhagavatam from quite a few others, because it's unlimited. And Srila Prabhupada studied and gave it. He wanted us to study also. So now we have all these Bhakti Shastras and Bhakti Vaibhav and Bhakti Sarvabhauma, I don't know what else. Well, one can really study, with devotees, study Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's fascinating. The more we dig into it, it's like the ocean. Now with technology, they can go deeper and deeper into the ocean, mostly with just a camera or something. And they don't know how deep it is in some places. But they're finding species of life, that where previously they'd calculated nothing could live because of the pressure. When you go 1,000 meters underwater, how much pressure there is. But they find these creatures, there's some kind of thing, living entities living there and eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and they're going to find more and more. So when we continually read Bhagavad Gita in association of devotees and discuss it with devotees, because Krishna gives everyone a unique understanding, a unique perspective, then we find more and more that we didn't find the first reading, second reading, 100th reading. We can read the Bhagavad Gita again and again, read the Bhagavatam, our Lord Chaitanya's pastime. There's no end to it. It just keeps opening up. It's an ocean. The ocean is very deep. So we're diving in, and Krishna will keep revealing himself more and more. We're chanting the holy name. Bhakti Vinod said like that. He said, everything is ever fresh. It's a whole, when I take prasadam with it, it's a whole new life's experience. My godbrother Jayananda, everybody's heard of him. He was very simple in some sense, but he was very, very strong, very mature, able to get all the permission for Rath Yatras and build the carts and organize so many people to work on it and get all the boga donated and everything else. He wasn't like some fool. And he loved to chant, and he was always service. He was super humble. And every time he loved prasadam, he loved to cook and he loved to eat prasadam. like if he got sick, people ask, what do you do when you get sick? He said, I eat more prasadam so the germs can get mercy. He went to the hospital and he was extremely sick with cancer. Called the temple, bring cookies, bring back to Godhead. He went around, distributing prasadam to everybody. But every time he took prasadam, he said, that was the best prasadam ever. It was the best. And somebody would say, but you said that yesterday. He said, that was the best one. And he meant it. He wasn't like just making a show. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm the most fallen, thinking I'm proud that I'm the most fallen. But he was kirtan also. That was the best kirtan ever. And he said, but you said that yesterday. Yeah, that was the best. This is the right attitude. Ever fresh. Let's go local. The gopis. They never think we did this yesterday. We made a garlands yesterday. Why should we, Krishna's not going to come anyway. He didn't come yesterday. They're always fresh and more excited every day. The more they think about Krishna. So we want to be like that. Bhagavatam class. We've seen too many devotees. Prabhupada writes that in the purport in the 9.3 of the Gita. Ashadadana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Prapyamam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. And he said, we see some people coming, they're leaving because they came with not the right motive. They wanted something material. And either they got what they wanted material and then they're happy, or they didn't get it and they think, what's the use? Doesn't work. So, but if we want to go to Bhagavatam class every day, we want to go to Mangalarti, then that's a good sign that somehow or other something's right. At least Krishna's not kicking us out. It's not that I have to go to Mangalarti. Even in mundane counseling, it's one of the first things they teach is, don't say I have to go to work. Don't say I have to cook for my children. Don't say I have to wash the clothes for my husband or something. Say I get to. I'm fortunate to have this opportunity. I'm very fortunate to have a job. I'm very fortunate to have children. I want to, then come to the real thing, I want to chant. I want to chant, not I have to chant. In one sense we have to, but we should want to. Not just, we should want to because we want to go back to God and we want to be with Krishna. We want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam because then we can associate intimately with Prabhupada. Prabhupada said that when I first joined, we heard that all the time. Prabhupada said, my books are better than I am. Now, not that it's not good to have Vapu, but how many can have Vapu of the Guru? When Prabhupada, at the last days, maybe 3 or 4 devotees were massaging a little bit here and there, because they could barely touch him. But how many could cook? Just very few. But the books are everywhere and millions of people at the same time. Like sometimes if you look on the YouTube if you have a class at Jaipataka Swami or Radhanath Swami or something, and there might be 1,000 people, 2,000 people at the same time from all over the world. In the books, we don't know how many people might be reading the book at any minute. Somebody's reading a book, somebody's getting a book, So this is how we can, Prabhupada made arrangements. So in that purport in that Yadvag Visargo, he's saying over and over again, urgent need to systematically organize to distribute the Srimad Bhagavatam, And it's being done. Now is it the Bhagavatam marathon yet? Anyway, devotees distributing, tens of thousands of sets of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world to all kinds of people in all kinds of languages. It's quite a phenomenal thing. Prabhupada empowering devotees more and more. I still can't believe it. I didn't believe it when we heard that devotees were first selling Krishna book on the street and getting $5. Then I tried it and found out, yeah, you can do it. And now devotees are selling Bhagavatam sets in America in the parking lot or someplace, sometimes right in the supermarket. They put the books in a cart and they walk around and somehow, and people are paying like $300. Because, here it's $100, but then you got to import them and everything. So it's amazing how the world has become so purified. And it's just becoming more and more purified. The more there's public chanting, the more there's Rath Yatra, all these festivals. So thank you very much for carrying on this. We made a very beautiful temple here. I was just looking out the window, I was bewildered, and I saw that you got that lake there, so you get this reflection. So it's really amazing. I was thinking, well, are we on like the 10th floor or something? But we're on the ground, right? But it's very beautiful to have a reflecting lake like that. So the people on the other side, they can see the temple reflected. And more temple. I think they're opening another one in Delhi this week. Their plan is anyway. In Sahaibabad, which is quite near to Gajibad, but somebody donated a nice space and 5 stories building. It's not very wide, but they make it very beautiful. And they have a big congregation all over the world, all over Calcutta. You have so many, right? So there's no limit to how much the increase can be. All right, so it'll take a few minutes if you have a question or comment. Time flies. Flew right by. I have some Tirupati Ladu, if anybody would like some. Yeah.
Thank you for nice class. As people come for different motives. People come with different motives to practice bhakti. So some people come with some material desires. They get material desires and they come with some desires but they don't get their need. How to avoid these people, because most of the people somehow they come with getting something. How to keep them in bhakti.
Be in bhakti. Be in bhakti, be very, devotees should be the Surit Sarva Bhutanam, meant to be very friendly with people, and that way connect with them. And engage them somehow or other. I mentioned my Jayananda Prabhu. He was always busy with something, mostly so-called not Brahminical work, But for devotee, everything is Brahminical, He was fixing the cars, he was underneath the car. He met one devotee joined. Jayananda was under the car and saying, give me the wrench, give me this, and preaching to him at the same time. he said he never saw him, he only saw his feet, but he got enlivened to join. But I saw that anybody that showed up in front of him, he would immediately say, "Oh, I'm so glad you came. Can you help me?" I'm stuck, and of course people like to help, So they would help him, and he would talk about Prabhupada the whole time, and many joined like that. So, so Prabhupada immediately engaged people. He found out, whatever skill they have, and he would, somehow Prabhupada wanted all these paintings. And Krishna sent a lot of devotees that were artists. And he would just, and nobody knew any Krishna Leela. I mean, he would write out a little bit of, and say, "Can you paint this?" That's why there's so many letters from the artist, because they didn't, how do you paint this? They had no idea what is a demigod or anything. And Prabhupada would tell them. So that's why the temple gives a lot of chance for service. People like to do service. They like to help somebody. So that, and then depending on, some people just want to discuss philosophy. So temples have all kinds of seminars and classes. And I saw in Bombay, I was shocked. It said, Hare Krishna cooking class in Bombay, And I thought, why, but Hare Krishna cooking is not Indian cooking, exactly. Nowadays, because we have everything else. But he said it's no onions and garlic, because most people, they don't know how to cook. They think you need onion and garlic to make something taste good. So just offer people, good association, let them hang around if that's what they want. And have different opportunities for service. All right?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Did you give Gaur Nitai here some special name? Or?
Dayan Nitai Gaur Sundar.
Wow. Merciful Nitai, Gaur Sundar. Beautiful Gaur. Another thing in the Middle East, they normally on Sunday have a very big crowd, close to 1,000 devotees. And I went to the program, and there was maybe 100. They said, "Oh, everybody's at a big program." And I was wondering, what is this big program? Then they took me there, some South Indian festival. It's called Kalyanama Srinivas Kalyana. Srinivas is Balaji. So they had like Rath Yatra in this huge hall. And they have a big cart they made, and they had the deities on there, and they drove around and around, and they had the drummers, and they had all kinds of other things. I didn't see all of it. Prasadam for everybody, really amazing. And they made a Balaji deity, exact duplicate, exact copy, made out of some kind of modern thing, Because with this modern technology, just with a picture, they can get all the angles and everything, And they had a pujari, came from Tirupati. But that's a Utsav deity. They don't keep it all the time, but they have lots of festivals. This is our culture. The more festivals we have, the more we can engage people, right? And even people who don't want to talk to anybody and want to hang out in the corner, they can be very happy at a big festival because nobody will pay any special attention to them. All right? So have more festivals.
Prabhu is expert.
Huh?
Prabhu is expert in festivals.
Okay, so somebody brought these Tirupati ladus. So I'm trying to break, it's hard to break them into smaller pieces. And they're made with real ghee. They had a scandal there, you know. Somebody was bringing some kind of dalda that was contaminated. And they were using for, in the name of ghee, some corrupt minister.
The ruler was Christian using it.
Yeah, danger at every step. Oh, it's expanded or something. I dropped a couple of small pieces. Somebody go under the table.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Another one dropped. A few more ladies in. Come. No.